an Italian feast, and a double helping of Obsidian. It's a theatrical banquet on this month's Houston Theater Beat. Hi everyone, and welcome to this month's edition of Houston Theater Beat. I'm your host, John Lazo. We're nearing the end of the 2012-2013 theater season here in Houston, but the end of the season is offering up some real gems, and we're going to be taking a look at some of those in this month's show. In our backstage segment, we'll pay a visit to Obsidian Art Space and take a look at one of the pieces that make up Fade to Black, an evening of 10 10-minute plays, all written by African-American playwrights from all over the country. In our In-Performance segment, we'll take a look at the latest offering from Houston Family Arts Center, Joe DiPietro's hilarious family comedy, Over the River and Through the Woods. And in this month's Harley's Hot Ticket, Harley takes us back to Obsidian for a look at the upcoming production of Tom Stoppard's brilliant, groundbreaking absurdist comedy, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. Plus, this month's marquee features information about shows going on all over town. So let's get started. Hi everybody. I'm here at the rehearsal space at Obsidian Art Space, which those of us in the theater community commonly refer to as the barn. A lot of very creative work goes on here, and I'm being joined by three of the folks who are associated with one of the plays making up Fade to Black, which is going to be an anthology of African-American stories written by African-American playwrights that are going to be coming up at Obsidian later this month. I'm being joined by the director of one of the pieces, Mr. Steve Carpentier, is here with us. And also joining me are two of the actors. I have Danielle Bunch. She's playing Eva, right? And then I also have Michael Patterson with me, and he's playing Wendell. And the scene is called The Last Supper. It was written by Barbara and Carlton Mollett. And Steve, can you tell the Houston Theater Beat audience a little bit about both Fade to Black, the project, and The Last Supper's place in it? Sure. The creative process.
The Fade to Black is a dream of Denise O'Neill's, and she's been putting this together for several months now, or if not longer. And it was her dream to, showcase African American writers, something that had never been done, as far as we know, in the city of Houston. That it's just showcase a festival of just African American writers. So we have a collection of 10 different 10-minute plays. We'll have 5 in one act and 5 in the next. The Last Supper is the first show in the second act, and it depicts a setting of a cafe in Memphis, Tennessee, and they're all waiting for our Martin Luther King to show up and have dinner with them. Unfortunately, the fatal events that happened in Memphis preclude him from actually being able to join them for supper that evening. But so it's a great story with some really wonderful characters. Denise and Danielle, thank you. We can cut that out.
We knew what you meant.
Danielle and Michael play two of the characters. Danielle plays Eva, a young college student, and Michael plays plays Wendell. He was hurt in an accident for the sanitation department in Memphis. So
that's a fascinating setting for this particular piece, because it's sort of like in those moments directly leading up to Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination. And I was reading the script, and it's fascinating because it's like what's going on just with those common people who were going to host him and interact with him.
Sure.
And then, of course, the events transpire, as we all know, right? Fascinating setting. Danielle, tell us a little bit about Eva. Who is she, and what has been your experience playing?
Eva is a young woman. She is engaged to a soldier who is currently serving in Vietnam. And she is the future. I think that's what we, the other day in rehearsals, kind of decided for her. She is very ambitious. She's very active in the movement. She's, you know, attending rallies, and she mentions how kind of stressed she is right now between school and trying to work and trying to keep all of her, you know, eggs afloat. And she's very strong-willed. I think she knows exactly what she believes in. She knows exactly what she wants to see come out of this movement, and not just for Black people, but also she spends a great deal of time discussing poor whites in the country at that time, who were in a equally bad, maybe not equally, but a very bad situation as well. She's very strong. She knows exactly what she's looking for.
Wow, it's incredible. Of course, the Eastern Theater Beat audience either know because they were alive, as we were, or because they've read in history, of course, about the situation in 1968 and the world and national events going on there. Michael, tell us a little bit about Wendell, his story.
Okay, I play Wendell. He's a sanitation worker in Memphis, and he's also one of the sanitation workers that got injured. In that his injury, his leg, one of his legs basically doesn't work anymore. He was in the hospital for a very, very long time. And what seems to have occurred is when it rains, for instance, this is what happened. When it rains during that time in Memphis, Blacks were not allowed to go under shade or under covering. They had to stay in the back, like for instance a trash or a dump truck. They had to stay inside the truck, in the compartment there. And so what occurred was some people were in there, whether someone knew, for the story of our play, someone knew, didn't know, they pressed the button,
yeah, right.
So a few people died, even in real life, a few people died.
Sure.
My character represents obviously one of the individuals who was injured. But with that, I was healed. You know, it's mentioned in the play, I was in the hospital for a very long time. And I come in with some news in that I'm supposed to meet Dr. King tonight at 5 o'clock at the hotel, because they want some of the sanitation workers up on stage with him to talk about working conditions at that time in Memphis.
Right.
And then I enter back in again. I won't tell you what I say or do when I come back
in.
Exactly.
We want the folks to come and see the show.
Yeah, so that's kind of where my character is, you know, fits in.
That's fascinating. I love the juxtaposition of the national events, but seen through the eyes of just, you know, some of the ordinary people at the time. Sure, absolutely. Well, everybody stay tuned. In just a moment, we're going to be seeing an actual scene from The Last Supper, part of Fade to Black, going on in Obsidian, and that's coming up right now.
I am so proud to have Dr. Martin Luther King eating my greens. We are proud. Well, I need to go and see on about my kids. I'll be back in plenty of time to serve.
You know, you got some nice kids. They went out there looting last month when Dr. Martin Luther King marched.
It's a shame the way those kids give our community a bad name. We out here trying to make it better for them.
They had no business killing that boy.
Breaking windows and looting is wrong.
And if they hadn't killed that boy,
Well, they just a bunch of teenagers trying to be a part of the movement.
Dr. King's people had training classes. Now, if they want to be part of the movement, they
We
need
get
to
your
do
point, Martha. Go on see about your kids.
you sure?
Oh, yes, he can handle what's left.
Okay, well, don't forget to put my cornbread in the oven, okay?
Okay, she should be here in a minute.
All right, and I put tea towels over the pans.
Do we have enough butter? Everything tastes better with some butter on it.
Well, just call if you need me sooner. Wendell can take care of the kids.
Who's that? Go get my gun, Lucille. My gun.
Me, Eva.
Oh,
I saw the trash bags by the door, so I took them out to the dumpster.
You need to announce yourself before you sneak in here like that. If I had a gun, you'd be be dead by now.
If you had a gun, don't go telling somebody, go get your gun if you don't have a gun. What if I had a gun?
You should have been here an hour ago.
The number 5 bus was late again.
You have too many irons in the fire.
Just because I went to Chicago to hear that rally against Dr. King speaking against the war in Vietnam.
Well, what is your young man due back from Vietnam?
Any day now.
Good.
Dr. King said the war is immoral. And you know those old white folks up in Washington don't want to hear that kind of talk. They were okay with him talking about I have a dream.
Well, what's wrong with that? I have a dream too. Don't you have a dream?
Well, of course I do. That's not the point.
Well, what is the point, little Miss Know-It-All?
Oh, you don't need to go around calling nobody no name, Mother.
Well, I don't see what's wrong with I have a dream.
Nothing wrong with it, but we got bigger issues to address. These white folks out here treating our sanitation workers like they're still in slavery. Now, Dr. King didn't come down here to talk about no dream. He's here to get help for black people.
Oh, when did we get to be called black? In my day, you didn't dare call nobody black.
Dr. King was up in a little town. I think it was somewhere up in West Virginia, trying to get these poor white folks to see that they're just as oppressed as we are.
I don't see why he gotta worry about them white folks. They gonna take care of their own self.
Oh, poor white folks are in just as bad shape as we are, and they don't even know it. He told them that the rich white folks got the poor working white folks bamboozled. What? He told them that they ain't no better off than us, but the rich white folks tell them to keep us in our place, and they ain't got the sense to believe it.
We got a lot of work to do before we open up for dinner.
Well, did you bring the almost new uniform?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, we need you to look real good when you serve Dr. King. We want to show him we have a quality establishment here.
Dr. King.
Dr. King.
Is something happened? He's been shot, ma'am.
Oh, Lord.
He's dead.
Oh, gee.
Oh, wait, it can't be. Oh, it just can't be.
Oh, Lord. Lord have mercy. Oh, what are we going to do now?
Well, thank you very much, Steve and Danielle and Michael, for that wonderful scene from Last Supper, which is part of Fade to Black, coming up at Obsidian. Steve, can you give the Houston Theater Beat audience information about the dates coming up and the curtain times, and then also tickets, where they can go to get tickets online?
You can find a lot of information on the Obsidian Art Space website. You can also find information and purchase tickets at www.missliliesgroove.com. There's a Fade to Black button that you can purchase tickets from. Tickets are $20. The show itself runs June 13th, 14th, and 15th, all at 8 p.m. That is the curtain time, so we certainly hope that you will come out and enjoy this very, very historic event here in the Houston area.
Absolutely. Everybody, make sure you get your tickets very quickly because we are anticipating that ticket sales are going to be brisk. The show's received a great deal of publicity, certainly earned, definitely. So make sure that you get your tickets to come join everyone involved with Fade to Black coming up at Obsidian. I'd like to thank my guests for this segment, Steve Carpentier, who's directing in Fade to Black, and also our actors, Danielle Bunch and Michael Patterson. You guys, thank you very much. Break a leg with the show. Thank you. And everybody stay tuned. We'll have more of the show in just a moment. The Alley Theater presents Sherlock Holmes and the Adventure of the Suicide Club. Based on Robert Louis Stevenson's The Suicide Club, and featuring beloved characters created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Jeffrey Hatcher crafts a smart new Sherlock Holmes mystery. Dark forces may be manipulating the deaths of prominent men in a plot so far-reaching that the fate of Europe is at stake. It is up to the brilliant Detective Holmes and his old friend Dr. Watson to uncover the chilling secret of the Suicide Club. Sherlock Holmes and the Adventure of the Suicide Club runs through June 23rd at the Alley Theater. For tickets, visit the Alley website at www.alleytheater.org. Stage Door Incorporated presents Sweeney Todd. This rare musical thriller tells the infamous tale of the unjustly exiled barber who returns to London seeking revenge. His thirst for blood soon expands to include his unfortunate customers and the resourceful proprietress of the pie shop downstairs. Sweeney Todd runs from July 5th through July 28th at Stage Door. For tickets and information, visit the Stage Door website at www.stagedoorinc.com. The Eclectics Theater presents The Rocky Horror Show. It's a dark and stormy night. Brad Majors and his fiancée Janet Weiss are stranded after their car breaks down and are forced to seek refuge at an old Frankenstein-looking mansion down the road. The evening then becomes a long, twisted ride into Dr. Frankenfurter's realm of murder, insanity, depravity, and absolute pleasure. The Rocky Horror Show runs from June 28th through July 6th. For information about the show, visit the Eclectics website at www.eclecticstheater.org. Remember, all show dates are subject to change, so visit the theater websites for dates and curtain times. We'll see you at the show. Hi everyone, I'm here at the Houston Family Arts Center with the assistant director and some of the cast members of their upcoming production of Over the River and Through the Woods, which is a comedy by Joe DiPietro. And joining me here on their set, here with this beautiful Italian dinner table, all set and ready to go, not for us, for the show, is Jackie Dowell. She's the assistant director of the show. And I also have with me Elaine Edstrom, who's playing Emma, and Justin Finch, who's playing Nick. And let's find out a little bit about what's going on here with the production. Jackie, I'm familiar with the show. Some of the Houston Theater Beat audience may not have heard of the show before. I think it's a great script. Can you tell the audience a little bit about what the show's about?
Sure. Basically, to sum up Nick's line, the play is about the 3 F's: food, faith, and family. Kind of about some growing pains that we all deal with. A young man who's lived around his loving grandparents all his life has to decide whether he wants to move away and live the life the way he wants to, or stay with his grandparents. It's one of those life decisions that everybody has to make once in a while.
Absolutely, absolutely. And because of the grandparents, there's a lot of humorous situations that develop between Nick and both sets of grandparents.
Oh yes, they try to hatch a plot to make him stay.
Right.
And hilarity ensues.
Yeah, hilarity ensues. That's good. That's good. Elaine, you're playing Emma.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Emma and your experience that you've had playing her.
Well, Emma is second-generation Italian. She's been married to Nunzio for 60 years and loves her family and loves her grandson.
Right.
Very proud of him, wants to see him married. She keeps telling him, before I die, I'm dead, I want to see you married. And she's a fun character. As a kid, my first few years, I lived in an Italian neighborhood. And this is true. I mean, all of these characters are very true to life. I can remember the Nano, grandparents that were not mine, but we all gravitate over there all the time to Biscotti and so on.
Sure, absolutely. So the situations are very realistic in terms of the classic northeastern Italian family and those dynamics that go on. Right.
I like this too because I get to dance with my hubby.
Oh, good.
And sing a little bit.
Good.
And boss him around.
That's excellent. Good. Justin, Nick is the lead. He's the young man who gets sort of enmeshed between these sets of grandparents.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about him and your experience playing.
Nick, I think Nick has a very guilty streak. He feels very bad about wanting more for his life, but at the same time, he doesn't want to feel bad about it. So he wants to take this new job, which is the catalyst for this whole show, him moving and taking this new position, and so, but he feels guilty for leaving his grandparents because he loves them and he likes their company, even though whenever he's with them, he seems very agitated and aggravated, and he's very Raymond Barone from Everyone Loves Raymond.
Sure.
I use that comparison a lot whenever I describe the show to people.
Right.
But he's very much like that.
Sure, absolutely. Loves them, but.
Yes.
Right.
Loves them, but.
Loves them, but. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, everybody stay tuned, because all of the actors from Over the River and Through the Woods are going to be presenting a little bit of a scene from the show to give you a taste of what the show is like. And then in just a couple of minutes, I'll be back with our guests and give you information on the dates so that you can come here and join the actors to see Over the River and Through the Woods at Houston Family Arts Center.
So, Caitlin, what's a pretty girl like you doing without a boyfriend?
Caitlin, please don't answer that.
Nick, it's okay. Well, Frank, I like to think that it's just that I haven't met the right guy lately.
Oh, maybe if you did something with your hair.
Man!
I meant that nice. You know I meant that nice.
I just want to say that this is all great, and that from now on, I want to take all 4 of you on my dates.
You know what? I bet you all would be great on dates. I bet the 4 of you are excellent dancers.
No, but that doesn't stop us.
Hey, it's so nice and salt. And a weapon.
And so dinner went on. Oh, it was a beautiful meal. We had enjoyed the veal and then a nice fresh tomato garden salad, followed by ravioli with eggplant on the side, and then coffee with ricotta cheesecake and freshly baked anisette cookies. And all during that beautiful meal, I looked at my grandson and the lovely young lady sitting next to him and thought to myself, yes, oh yes, he has found his reason to stay.
But every now and again, and not very often, but every now and again, I get these glimpses of what their lives were like back then, and then all of a sudden their whole lives are just splashed with color. You know, I get to see what they were like when they were young and sexual, and it just seems so wonderful.
Nicholas, I need a partner.
Yes, sir.
By the way,
when you see the preacher will say,
yes,
sir, that's my baby. No, sir, I don't mean maybe. Yes, sir, that's my baby now.
That's some.
Well, thank you guys very much for that scene from Over the River and Through the Woods here at the Houston Family Arts Center. Funny, funny stuff here at the beautifully set Italian dinner table here on the Houston Family Arts Center set. Everybody is definitely going to want to come and see this show, Jackie. It's so funny. Can you give the Houston Theater Beat audience some information about the tickets, the dates and times? And of course, we'll get the website up in just a moment as well.
Of course. Please come and see us. We open on Friday, June 7th at 8 p.m. And we're open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Matinees are at 3 o'clock.
And you definitely want to make sure that you get your tickets to come and see this hilarious comedy at Houston Family Arts Center. Jackie, you have the website address. It's one of the easiest ways for people to get information about the show and their tickets. What is the web address here?
Yes, of course. Please come to www.houstonfac.com.
Good. And remember, that's www.houstonfac.com. Check out the current shows that are running. You'll see Over the River and Through the Woods. Make sure you get your tickets and find out more about the shows so that you can plan on joining the actors here at Houston Family Arts Center. I'd like to very much thank my guests, Jackie Dowell, who's the Assistant Director of Over the River and Through the Woods, Elaine Edstrom, who's playing Emma, and Justin Finch, who's playing Nick. They're going to toast, you're going to say salut, the Houston Theater Beat audience. And everybody stay tuned. We'll be back with more of the show in just a moment. Harley is always on the right track when it comes to picking the best of the best for Harley's Hot Ticket. And this month, those tracks take us back to the Heights and Obsidian Art Space for the Cabal Productions presentation of Tom Stoppard's absurdist comedy, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. The play concerns the misadventures and musings of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, two minor characters from William Shakespeare's Hamlet, who are childhood friends of the prince, focusing on their actions with the events of Hamlet as a background. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead is structured as the inverse of Hamlet. The title characters are the leads, not supporting players, and Hamlet himself has only a small part. The duo appears on stage here when they are off stage in Shakespeare's play, with the exception of a few short dramatic scenes in which the events of both plays coincide. In Hamlet, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are used by the king in an attempt to discover Hamlet's motives and to plot against him. Hamlet, however, mocks them derisively and outwits them so that they, rather than he, are executed in the end. On Broadway, the play was nominated for 8 Tony Awards and won 4: Best Play, Best Scenic Design, Best Costume Design, and Best Producer. The play also won Best Play from the New York Drama Critics Circle in 1968 and Outstanding Production from the Outer Critics Circle in 1969. In the summer here in Houston, it's easy to find musicals and light comedies, but if you want to sink your teeth into something a little more intriguing, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern is a must-see. The show runs from July 31st through August 9th at Obsidian. For more information about the production, you can visit the Obsidian website at www.obsidianartspace.org. That's all for this month's edition of Houston Theater Beat. I'm your host, John Lazo, and until next time, I'll see you at the show.
We'll be right back.